Adler.
Danielle Aflito.
I love you, Daddy. I miss you a lot. Richard Anthony Acheta.
Every year, on the anniversary of 9/11, America stops to mourn the men and women who were killed in the attacks.
Barbara Jean Arstegui. And my father, Jack Charles Aaron.
But behind the names are the forgotten victims. On that day, more than 3,000 children were left without a mother or father.
Jaffet, Jesse, Ari.
Some were only days old.
I don't remember him. I do look like him. Because I've seen pictures, and he made a beautiful child.
Others had yet to be born.
I don't have a daddy. My daddy died. My daddy is in the building, and there's a plane crash and he died.
9/11 touched children of all ages, all religions, all races from every background. Every year they are forced to relive the public tragedy.
Every time I see those towers come down, it's watching Daddy die every single time. Over and over and over again. It's traumatic. Not many people watch their parents die on TV once, let alone every year every year on the day of.
I remember he's a really good dad.
I got it! Did you get it? A fish! I got a fish!
10 years on, the children of 9/11 let us into their world.
Oh, hey!
Hi, look. I don't know how you look. You look's a mess.
Don't shoot my car.
I'll shoot theirs.
This is their story.
And what's the baby's name?
Justin.
And he was born on September 7th.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Oh.
There he is.
Good morning, 68 degrees on this Tuesday, September 11th. Here's what's happening. It's all over but the voting. That begins in the morning.
For thousands of children across America, Tuesday, September the 11th, 2001, began like any other school day.
Last time I seen my mom was September 11th morning. I woke up that morning sick, actually. Bad tummy ache, and I told her I didn't want to go to school and I didn't want her to go to work. But she still made me get dressed and made me go to school, and she still went to work.
11-year-old Rodney Ratchford lived on a military base in Washington with his parents and 2 younger sisters. His mother, Marcia Ratchford, was an IT specialist with the US Navy. She worked at the Pentagon.
You had to have respect. She wanted to hear no ma'am, yes ma'am, stuff like that. Sweetest person in the world, but one person you don't want to have on your bad side. You want her to go to war with you, not at you. That was her.
Pat, we are just currently getting a look at the World Trade Center. We have something that has happened here at the World Trade Center. We noticed flame and an awful lot of smoke from one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There was such an explosion that it made windows shake and break on the...
When the first tower was hit, 10-year-old Thea Trinidad was still at her home in Queens, New York.
I was supposed to be in school that day, and I had a doctor's appointment, so I stayed home from school. And I remember my mom just like moving around like very fast downstairs, and like I kind of heard her being panicked. So I kind of went to the stairs and said, "Mom, what's wrong?" And she was on the phone.
This plane headed directly in the building.
The phone rings, and it's Michael. He says, I'm calling to say goodbye. And I immediately said, well, where are you going?
Father of 2, Michael Trinidad, was a telecoms analyst at the World Trade Center. He was divorced from Thea's mum, but they were still friends.
Most of the smoke is billowing up now.
And I said, well, where are you? And he says, well, I'm in the building that is on fire.
She was on the phone. All I remember her saying is, "Michael, what are you talking about?" Like, Michael. And she was freaking out, and I was like, what's going on?
We can see severe damage even to the south side of this building, which is now beginning to make...
Thea, I looked at her, and she was sitting in the living room, and she was so scared. She just looked so small.
When she said Michael, I just automatically thought my uncle.
She was like, is it Michael, which is Uncle Michael? I'm like, no, it's your dad.
And as soon as she said that, my heart just dropped.
One thing we have yet to discuss is the people inside.
Then I remember the line cutting off and my mom, like, really losing it then. She was crying, and I remember I didn't speak. I didn't tell him, like, you know, I'm here, can I speak to you? I want to talk to you. I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything.
A second explosion of some type in tower number 1.
That was a second plane that just blew?
Number 1.
Okay, we're seeing, like, it looks like some kind of sick confetti parade. There is debris flying out of that south tower.
So both of the towers of the World Trade Center are now affected.
We have used the description before, unimaginable, as we were watching what we thought was an accident.
In schools around New York, classes were interrupted to tell children the shocking news.
Another plane smashing into the other World Trade Center.
5-year-old Fahina Chowdhury was in her second class of the day.
We were in class, and then over the announcements, they said something about World Trade Center. And I remember, I think I even said it out loud, oh, that's where my dad works.
Mohammed Chowdhury was a waiter at the Windows of the World restaurant at the top of the World Trade Center.
I was, 5 going on 6. I didn't know what to think. I was confused. I mean, I got checked out from school. That was pretty rare. And then I go to our house, and then I see all these people. I mean, it was a school day. I mean, if we saw people, it'd be over the weekends or at night, but never in the middle of the days.
12-year-old Caitlin Langone was baffled by the news.
My first thought was, like, how does a plane hit something that's 110 stories tall? Like, that seems like, and you know, as a little kid, we don't know what terrorism is. I'd never heard of that term. It never came to my mind. I'm 12, I don't know. So I was just like, that's really bizarre. Like, that's a really bizarre accident.
Right now, we need the attention of every firefighter in New York City.
The New York City Fire Department is issuing a total recall. They need all the help they can get. They need everyone to report.
Caitlin's father, Tommy Langone, was a voluntary firefighter and an NYPD rescue worker.
I knew Daddy would be there, I just didn't know how soon. There was a girl in my grade whose father worked for Cantor Fitzgerald, and as soon as she heard the news, she was very, very upset, and rightfully so, because she knew her father might be in trouble. So I went over to say, like, I'm sorry, it'll be okay. You know, like, people like my dad are coming, like, they'll help him, like, they'll get him out, like, you know, no one will leave them alone, like, they'll be okay.
An immediate evacuation of the White House has been ordered. Now, President Bush is not in town.
200 miles away, at his school in Washington, Rodney Ratchford's class had just heard about the attacks on the World Trade Center.
And then you just heard boom, and the school kind of shook. Because need to remind you, like, the Pentagon was just right over the interstate from where everything was.
All right, now we're going to interrupt this coverage, bring it closer to home. We have some indication of fire and smoke at the Pentagon right now.
You were seeing helicopters and people dropping down from the helicopters at our school to the base. You seen tanks coming up and down the road. It was blocking everything off. And for a child, I mean, when I was seeing it, it was cool. Because, I mean, you know, you're a kid and you're already liking G.I. Joes and things like that. You like soldiers, so when I'm looking at the window, I'm like, look. You know, everybody's like, look at that. Wow, you know.
This is KCBS San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, continuing coverage of a story of major dimensions, obviously. There have been 2 plane...
On the opposite side of the country, at their home in California, the Burnett girls had just got up with their mother.
I remember we were all getting ready for school and we were eating breakfast and Mom was talking to him on the phone and we were saying how we wanted to talk to him.
Medical research executive Tom Burnett was flying home that morning from a business trip to New York.
He said, I'm on Flight 93. United Airlines from Newark to San Francisco, and the plane has been hijacked. He said they're trying to get into the cockpit, and the hijackers have already knifed a guy, and he wanted me to call the authorities.
My mom was going insane. She was screaming and crying, and she was on the phone, and she was freaking out. I mean, she was so hysterical that she could barely talk.
And I remember listening and just thinking, this can't be real. This can't be happening to our family.
I remember she was running around just trying to do anything and everything. I would say that she was kind of desperate.
I started screaming at her, please let me talk to my dad. But I don't really think that she heard me because she was in hysterics.
Dina Burnett sent the girls to school. Her husband Tom called her 3 more times.
In Tom's last phone call, he told me not to worry. He was going to do something. I could hear the concern in his voice. And I asked if there was anything else I could do, and he said, pray, Dina, just pray. And I said, I am. And I held on to the telephone, expecting him to call back. Held on to it until the battery ran down.
Breaking news. A large plane has crashed in western Pennsylvania. One must wonder, after all the other events of today, why this plane crashed into nothing in particular. Simply
We heard a thunderous boom and crackling sound. I gazed up briefly and I saw, I believe it was the southern tower, appeared to crumble and start to fall.
Just 30 minutes after the collapse of the South Tower in downtown New York, the North Tower followed.
Everyone ran, police ran, people just took off, people ducked into doorways, and people didn't stop to look behind. And I'm in a crowd, and we are running north on Broadway, we are escaping.
The huge question is, what has happened to the people inside those buildings? How many of them had a chance to get out?
There's no words to describe that feeling. You think that this can't be real. This can't be real. I'm dreaming right now. This can't be real. He's not there right now. This is not happening.
It was so vivid. I mean, if I see pictures now, it's hard for me to process that. I mean, my dad was in that building.
Did the fire department have any warning that they had to pull their people away from there?
Actually, we have a lot of police officers, a lot of firefighters, a lot of emergency personnel that were down there.
Daddy's partner, Randy, came to the door. Daddy always told Mommy that if something ever happened to him, the NYPD, they'd never call. They would bring somebody to the door in person. So when she saw them, she kind of, she freaked out because she knew that was a bad sign.
I must have cried for about 3 hours. And the worst part was, that's how I knew something was wrong, because the worst part was, ain't no one said nothing about my mom or nothing like that. It was just that feeling. I just knew it. I mean, I just knew it.
The Burnett girls had no inkling of their father's fate until that evening, when their mother sat them down to tell them.
She said, there were some bad people on his plane and they took over it, but it's okay because your dad tried to stop them. But there wasn't enough time left, and so they crashed. He's not gonna come home, but he's with Jesus right now.
I remember feeling as though she was almost lying to us. Not saying that she's a liar, but something that seems so impossible to us could happen. your family's like broken. I remember whenever the dancing stopped, really, because we stopped dancing right before bed, we stopped listening to this song, we stopped everything. For the longest time, I thought that he had survived. For years and years and years, I would always think that he did something like he was somewhere in Pennsylvania and he was on his way home. He never came home.
Six weeks after 9/11, a joint memorial service was held for Tommy Langone and his firefighter brother, Peter. They both died at the World Trade Center.
We had only pictures of Daddy and Uncle Peter because we never found them at all. It's a firefighting tradition at funerals that every fire company, they'll bring 2 rigs and they put the ladders up and hang a flag between them. So we're in our limos and we're going in a procession under all of these fire trucks that are doing that. And like Mommy's crying, Grandma Kitty's crying, like I'm just staring because I'm still in shock. When you're 12, it's a struggle to understand that you will never see Daddy ever again. You'll never hear him, you'll never touch him, you'll never see him, hug him, like anything. It's all gone forever.
Every year, on Thanksgiving, the Langone family gathered to remember Tommy at their home in the suburbs of New York.
Daddy's not in this. Oh, wait, yeah,
This
he
is
is.
old.
There he is. I think that's Daddy because I see the mustache. Here's Daddy. He's trying to, like, what he's doing, he's trying to coax the guy to come to him.
This is.
Yeah, this is great.
This
Everyone's.
is a good dramatic one, yeah.
So he's got his jacket up here, but his jacket comes loose, so they pull him in through the window. And then everyone's like, yay!
I think Dad, like, I was told, wrote the book on jumpers.
Oh, probably.
All of the ESU officers said it was just
Tommy's body was never found, but some of his belongings were discovered in the rubble at Ground Zero.
Where they find, I mean, obviously South Tower or something, but like where and when did they find it?
I think it was like October 14th to 15th, 2001, nighttime. I got a phone call saying they found...
So I don't know the story of how you got these.
They found Daddy's handcuffs and gun.
Well, the top of it.
And that there was some bone fragments in the area, so they thought perhaps they were going to test it to see if it was Daddy's.
Is that why we had to go to the medical examiner office?
Yes, to give the DNA or whatever. Unfortunately for us, fortunately for some other people, the bone fragments were not Daddy, but this is what... And they traced the handcuffs, actually. He had, these are his original handcuffs.
Like from the police academy?
From the police academy. They traced the number and it went...
Yeah,
this was his
service revolver. Yeah. That's kind of cool. You could see it, and like obviously since the rest of the Glock is plastic, it melted.
Yeah, so this is what was left.
Definitely corroded though. You can see like what they had to go through. It's just kind of like, I mean, it's kind of almost disturbing looking at this because if this is what happened to the guns and stuff, like,
I know.
It's traumatic. You know, the whole thing. Like we had to watch it over and over and over again before we knew, and then we had to watch it over and over and over again after we knew. It's hard not to be sad, but I can't change it. It's never going to change. Nothing we do will bring him back, so you just got to deal with what we have now. And what we don't have now.
Rodney Ratchford's family had nobody to bury either. His mother has an honorary grave at a military cemetery in her home state of Alabama.
I feel like she's always just right there in my ear, you know. She's always just right there. I can talk to her anytime. Talk to God, talk to her, things that's on my mind, problems. Sometimes I just talk to her. Anyway, I don't have to be here because like I said, she's not here actually, you know. They didn't dig up a hole for her, you know? It was just dig a hole and put her tomb there. She's not here, you know?
Just weeks after his mother's death, Rodney and his sisters were sent away from the military base to live with their father's relatives in northern Alabama.
I was mad. It was just like, forget everybody. I was just mad. And then that's when I had a big change in my life. I mean, doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing, but at the same time, I didn't care. And it wasn't really like I didn't quit school neither. I mean, I did participate in a lot of stuff, but you know, I got in so much trouble with fighting that they just terminated me, period, from going to the school. So ever since then, it was just upside down for me.
Rodney wasn't alone. Many children, like Thea Trinidad, were sent to therapy to help them cope with their grief.
I felt like everybody was kind of breaking down at once, and I didn't want to. And I didn't want to show emotion at all. My brother and I didn't want to have anything to do with the world at that point. Didn't want to have anything to do with anybody. We actually had to go to therapy for a little while, and I didn't open up to them. I didn't talk to anybody about anything. We were mad at the world. We didn't really know who to direct our anger to, but we were just pissed off.
I was 12, like that is the cusp of when you're starting to become who you are. And I lost Daddy, and Daddy was such a big part of shaping who I was. How could I not be messed up? My worst childhood fear when I was a little girl was that something would happen to one of my parents, and then it came true. So like, how can I not be anxious, you know? So I talked with this woman for a little while, like a year or so, and then I stopped seeing her. Like I went in one day, I was like, I don't really have anything to say today. She was like, okay, I guess we're done. So that was kind of the end of that.
I'm not a low self-esteem type person. So like when that happened, it wasn't like I wanted to commit suicide or anything, you know, like my mom was going, I'm finna kill myself, I can't live no more. No, it wasn't like that with me. When I went through the counseling and stuff, she wanted to talk to me and ask me all these questions, but I hated it because I hate when a person asks me the stupid question like, how does that make you feel about your mom dying? I'm like, well, if I went and blew your mama up, how would you feel? What you mean how I feel? I'm upset. I mean, I'm without a mom.
Younger children, like the Burnett girls, were going through the same turmoil, but they didn't know how to express it.
My mom, she said I would scream in the middle of the night and she would run into my room, and she thought I would be asleep, but I would be screaming and in a corner and saying, get away from me, and I'd be screaming and crying. And that went on for about 2 years, I think. It went on for a while. I tried not to get close with her because I would be scared that she would die too, and that I would lose her. And then I realized that she wasn't gonna go anywhere for a while. And so, we're really close now.
Does Madison have a fish?
Yeah! Oh, she got one here.
Yeah!
To me, my dad was kind of a role model for me.
Reel it in. Oh, yeah, look at that fish fight. Oh, good job.
I got it. Okay, did you get it?
No, okay, bring it.
Yeah,
I remember I'd say a prayer asking him to come home. I've never told anyone this before. I don't even think I've told my mom. And that one time that he didn't come home, I didn't pray. And I've secretly kind of felt a little guilty.
You've been blaming yourself.
Kind of. I guess you could say I've been blaming myself.
Oh, Madison. Oh, poor baby.
Now you see your dad, huh?
Before 9/11, The Burnetts were an ordinary family. Now, as the children of the hero of Flight 93, they found themselves thrust into the media spotlight.
Your dad was on his way home.
Mm-hmm. The bad guy got into the sea, and my daddy was trying to throw the bad guys out of the plane, but he couldn't, and it was too late, and so my daddy died.
My friends, I remember them saying, "You're famous," and I was like, not really. Because I remember waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning on some days and going to a news station and being on TV there and meeting Mr. Bush when I was so young.
He saved George Bush's house. My dad got up there and he took the wheel and drove into a little field. He was trying to save everybody on the airplane.
My name is Dina Burnett. My husband, Tom, was a passenger on United Airlines Flight 93.
In dealing with my grief in a very public way, I felt like I was setting an example for my children to be able to create in them a sense of pride for what their father had done and for the legacy that he had created for them.
Do something. I think those words directed the actions of all the heroes of 9/11, and they should direct ours.
Have a good day and a good life.
Sometimes it was actually pretty fun. I met the President of the United States. I mean, everybody's pretty happy to do that. It's one thing to say, my dad died in 9/11, but it's another to say my dad died as a hero in 9/11. I'm really glad that I can say that he was my dad and that I'm related to him because it was a really good thing that he did.
It still hasn't completely sunk in that my dad did something heroic on 9/11. Definitely, I admire my dad for doing that. It's just, I don't know, I can't picture in my mind of someone so ordinary doing something so extraordinary. And I think that that's why I have a hard time. It's still hard to believe to this day that he actually did make a difference.
While the Burnetts celebrated their father's memory, at their new home in Alabama, Rodney Ratchford's father was overwhelmed by his grief.
I never talked to him about my mom because have you ever just had someone where you can look at them and just tell that if you was to bring up a topic or something, it wouldn't be so good, you know, or you didn't want to see them go through that emotional phase? And so I never did, you know, just bring nothing up about her.
Without his mother's guiding hand, Rodney was going off the rails.
It's just your average teenage stuff, you know, stuff that you want to do that ain't right, that you ain't supposed to be doing, drinking, smoking, you know. I mean, that was just the direction that I was going in. I was selling drugs. I mean, might get into it with gang members. I mean, trouble in that type of lifestyle, that's what's gonna come.
When life in the gang took a dangerous turn, Rodney reached crunch point.
It was just like, I see what this road is leading to. The light came on, you know? Or it was like, better yet to say, God was talking. So I just felt like if I didn't get out the game then, either I was gonna be dead or in jail. So it was pick or choose.
Hello, Farkad. What are you doing?
I'm reading my dad's book.
You are looking at
my daddy.
Farkad Chowdhury will be 10 this year. His sister, Fahina, will be 16. Their father, Mohammed Chowdhury, was an immigrant from Bangladesh. He was one of 60 innocent Muslims who were killed on 9/11.
I was a lot angrier when I was younger. I was like, why is my dad gone? But now I've gotten to the point where it's just sad. I mean, I see Farkad without his dad and it gets hard.
Daddy was asking for a son. He always, I want a son.
Farkad never got to know his father. He was born 2 days after the attacks.
Daddy used to touch my belly and said, hey, my son, what are you doing? Are you fine? And you kicked. You kicked, and Daddy like, see, my son is listening to me. 2 or 3 years ago, he started, I want my dad. Mommy, can I have a dad?
Look at him.
And then he asked, why everybody has daddy, not me? Why I'm the only one, no daddy? Look, Mommy, can I hug him? Can I touch him? Can I kiss him?
Look at the white shorts.
Yeah, you have white shirt too, right?
Yep.
I think both you have same taste, Farkad.
He looks handsome.
You look handsome here? Yeah. Let me see. Do you look like your daddy? You look like me.
What?
Yeah. Are you upset for that?
Yeah.
You want to look like your daddy? Let me see. Eyes are same. Yeah, like your daddy.
Yeah.
But this part is like me.
Don't be silly.
Now it's just at the point where, like, little things he wants, and he'll never get that, which is so sad. I mean, I got things that he'll never get. I was young, but I have memories to hold on to. He has nothing.
My dad is in the building, the plane crashed, and he died.
Was he the only one? Was he the only one died, or other people died also?
Other people died. That's kind of sad.
The idea.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, he never got to see you, Baba.
Don't cry.
No, I'm not crying.
Here's my sniper. I really like this gun.
Don't shoot my car.
I don't. I'll shoot theirs.
Like Farkad Chowdhury, Justin Strada never got to know his dad. Tom Strada was a partner with a bond-broking firm at the World Trade Center.
The second grand finale. My vest. Here, I'll wear it.
I think his favorite movie is The Hurt Locker.
Yep.
He loves
The Hurt Locker
the Army and the Marines, and he loves what they stand for, and this is his way of expressing it, and it's perfectly fine with me.
Kick some Iron ass.
Here he is.
Justin was born 4 days before 9/11. His proud father marked the occasion.
Katie, come on over here. You filming us, Tommy?
Yep.
Know where the button is to make it go zoom and not zoom?
Yep.
All right, well, check that out. Katie helped me build this, right? What's it called, Katie? Is it a stork? Yeah. You look at the camera and say it's a stork?
It's a child.
And what's the baby's name?
Justin.
And what's his nickname gonna be? JT. And he was born on September 7th. That was yesterday.
I don't remember him. I just sometimes ask like questions about him, and they get answered, and fine with it.
Besides Justin, Tom Strada had 2 other children. Caitlin is 14, and the eldest, Tommy, is now 17.
And he just really liked to have fun.
Okay, hit that ball. Whoa! That's from the right-hand side.
I remember he really wanted me to be good at sports, and he wanted me to play baseball, and I didn't like it. And I feel like a lot of other dads would push their kids into doing it just for them, and my dad didn't make me do that.
Almost.
He was supportive of whatever I wanted to do.
Swing it once. Oh, that's good. Okay. When Daddy throws it, you hit it. You ready? Here we go. Wow!
Excellent.
Excellent shot. Say, Mommy, that was a good one, huh?
Mommy, that was a good one.
Sure was.
All right. Say, Mommy, do you want to pitch it to Daddy, and Daddy will hit it?
Hey. Chief. Good boy. This is Never Forget. And I named him after my daddy. To never forget my daddy. He kind of reminded me of, whoa. Well, he kind of reminded me of my dad a little bit. And I could go into his stall and tell him anything. So it was kind of like the same thing with my dad. I could tell my dad anything. Come on. Come on.
Your dad teaches you everything. I really wish that he was here to see my accomplishments and my mistakes so he could help me. It's not an easy thing when it's such a big loss.
You're gonna get a turn if you stop crying.
I remember his voice. I remember his laugh.
Okay, let it go.
I remember he'd come home at 4:15, push me on the swings. He was like my best friend. I really wish that I could have known him longer.
Katie, do you want to turn?
Yeah,
Me and my mom can have heart-to-hearts, and they've gotten kind of old. They've gotten kind of like the same routine, and I really wish I could talk to my brother about it, like Thomas, but he doesn't like sharing.
I don't talk to my sister about it, and I don't really talk to my mom about it. I bottle it up, really. I bottle it up because it's the easiest way. They definitely don't understand what I'm going through. No one does. No one will. Sister's not gone through the same thing. My dad died when she was 4. She doesn't remember when she was 4. She doesn't remember. She doesn't have to live with memories of him like I do.
Okay, so the wind's blowing that way.
The wind's blowing, yeah, that way. Don't let it pick you up and fly away with you.
Like I was 7, I can remember. She doesn't have that. And neither does my brother. They don't have to deal with that, and I do.
One factor all the children have to deal with is being branded a 9/11 kid.
When someone meets me, I want them to know me for who I am. All that unnecessary attention, I don't think it's needed. I don't want people to say, oh, I'm sorry. I've heard that enough times. I just don't like labels. Being labeled as a 9/11 kid. I mean, that's just so there. There's so much more to than just a 9/11 kid.
At school, I get very upset if somebody brings it up or if we have to read about it. At school, it hits me hard because I'll sit in the middle of the class, I'll sit somewhere, and if somebody says 9/11, all their heads will turn and look at me. And I'll be like, you know, that just made me feel so much better, you guys. Like, it's like, so then my teacher will be like, you can go step out. And I'll be like, I don't want to step out. I don't want to be the one who everybody looks at and everybody is like, well, Caitlin lost her dad, like stuff like that.
I don't want to be known as the girl who lost her dad in 9/11. I want to be known as the girl who's crazy and outgoing and loves life.
Good girl.
One thing that I've encountered most is like kids at school will like assholes at school like rip on me for it. So, I mean, that's That's actually how I got suspended the first time back in middle school, was for fighting, and it's for kids saying the wrong stuff to me. The first kid ripped on me for not having a dad. Another kid, I like called him a name, and he was like, "Ah, at least I got a full family," just along those lines. And then I like compare myself to my friends, and it's like nothing. Like they live in like a flower field and under like a bubble, and nothing gets to them. And I feel like it's weird. Like, I'm dealing with so much. Like, how can I just be normal?
Getting away from the 9/11 label was one reason the Chowdhuries moved to Oklahoma in 2002. Another was to escape the simmering anti-Muslim feeling in New York.
A lot of people still have Islamophobia. They still have a picture of all Muslims being terrorists. But I would say here everything's more calm, and I'm able to keep a balance between being a modern Muslim girl and just being a normal teenager. Mom? Markadwa on YouTube.
Fahina is a moderate Muslim, but in the wake of 9/11, many people don't distinguish between ordinary Muslims like her and the Islamic terrorists who carried out the attacks.
These are real Muslims. I mean, they're not what our religion is about. I feel proud about my faith, and I just wish people would know more about it. These men did this thing, gave Muslims such a negative look, and of course they took my father, but, you know, I can't do anything to change it.
I certainly do not know anyone who is of that religion. I know that they're not all bad, but they killed my father. And that, in 10 million sorries from innocent Muslims, will not, no.
You are so jumpy. I feel like I haven't known you in ages, and I forgot how jumpy you are.
How can you forget me?
5 years after Justin Strada lost his father, his family faced more heartbreak.
You gotta get not in my way.
Justin was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
No, even I haven't had chemo in 2 weeks, and that feels like 35 billion months. My tumor is this big, and it is called a juvenile polycystic astrocytoma. And not many people can pronounce that. JPA, that's for short, and just plain annoying.
John?
It's just shrunk, but now it's like staying there, and it won't go away. I want to kick my tumor in the face. I want to take a poo on it. Take a big, big poo on it. There we go. Now let's go see what we did. I act like a normal kid. I had no hair at one time, but then it grew back to be beautiful and flushes.
Justin is now in remission. Every summer, he and his siblings attend a special camp for 9/11 children in upstate New York. Camp Hayes was set up by a couple who lost their eldest son on 9/11.
children felt responsible for the parent. They didn't want to make their parent sad, you know, so they felt if they were just crying, you know, then their parent would start crying. When they were away from their home environment and they were here, they can be whatever they wanted to be.
In all honesty, like, I love everyone who goes here. We all came from different backgrounds and different places and, you know, completely different lifestyles, and everyone, like, was the same.
People in the water, are you ready?
We all could deal with each other's experiences, like, we all knew what we had all been through, and just that was, like, almost, like, healthy for all of us.
Book it. Blue team's gonna book it.
Actually, on the red team, I am totally neutral in book it.
Campaigns just kind of gave me the courage to embrace people again and just, you know, understand that we're not alone here and we have people like us, you know. Because sometimes, you know, my friends at home, they're great, but they don't understand, you know, that, and they don't understand, like, how I'm feeling. But, you know, when I'm at campaigns, we don't have to talk about it. If we want to, we can. And if not, you know, we're just around each other and just, you know, being happy with the fact that we're around good people.
It's just awesome. I feel a bond with these campers that I don't feel with anyone back at home. I can't imagine ever straying away from this place. When I'm too old to be a camper, I want to work here. I don't want to leave. I don't want to grow up. I want to keep coming here.
Everybody smile. 1, 2, 3.
But camp doesn't suit everyone. Caitlin Langone is now 22. She's learned to cope with her loss alone.
I don't have any friends that have this background. It makes no sense to be like, oh my God, your dad died on 9/11, my dad died too, let's be friends. Like, I hate that. Like, what a horrible premise for a friendship. Like, I can't stand that. I mean, this is just me though. Like, I don't like being like, oh, this one thing happened to you guys, you all should get along. Like, it's one thread of my identity. It's not the thing that defines me.
Caitlin wants to safeguard her father's memory by getting a tattoo.
Hi!
What do we got today?
We would like to do a memorial tattoo in memory of my father. He passed on 9/11, so the design that I have in mind here is pretty much entirely based off of his work in ESU. That's the Emergency Services Unit. The real reason I picked this, though, is the phrase down at the bottom here, anytime, baby, because that's the motto of ESU. And, like, when I think of my dad, I think of, like, Mighty Mouse, you know, like, what seems to be the problem? Like,
I'm here to
like,
rescue.
yeah, like Superman, like, I'm ready to go. Like, Daddy really was, like, anytime, baby. Like, it doesn't matter what time you called or what time the alarm went off, he was like, let's go. They used to call him Captain Adrenaline at his truck. Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I just keep... Son of a bitch. I just keep thinking about how proud I'm gonna be when it's done. The tattoo is like a badge of honor because, you know, this hurts. Like, it fucking hurts. Like, let's be real. So, you know, that's kind of cathartic because as bad as it can hurt on my leg, like, this pain is temporary and it will go away. Like, the pain of losing Daddy never goes away, and it's never going to. It gets a little easier to deal with over time, but I would give everything in the world, every single thing in the world, just to give my dad a hug again.
Get in there, help your wife and your daughter.
perfect. I mean, like, I really like it when I see that cat, and like that cat, it's just, it makes me think of Daddy. But it feels right because it just feels right having him. Like, I have him always in my heart, but now I have him in a place where I can see him, so that feels right too. Just happy. Like, I don't have words. I'm just like, no.
Rodney Ratchford is now 21. 5 years ago, he was selling drugs on the streets of northern Alabama.
You can't go around being mad for forever. I mean, it don't make no sense. So yeah, I done seen a lot of friends go to jail. I seen a lot of friends die. But needless to say, I'm still here.
When he was 16, Rodney left his father's home and moved 250 miles south to the city where his mother was raised, Mobile.
Mobile is just really historical, though. I mean, it's a great place. You know, think about it. Martin Luther King, they marched down here, you know. Just even for me to even be around here is wonderful. That's why I say this is almost like just a first place of home to me. We gonna go? I'm gonna push out the wall. We're gonna swim really fast up on the water, okay? Now you gotta hold on to my neck.
Now Rodney has his own family.
Ready? Set? Hold your breath.
He's been living with his partner and stepdaughter for 4 years.
I met this little lady. It was real crazy. I met her on Facebook. We was talking for about 6 months, and she finally was just like, why don't we just move in together? So I did. I'm more of a family man now, you know. I try not to stay in the streets. Try to stay as far away from them as possible. Show you guys the apartment. This is my Mikasa, Sukasa. Coming in right here, you have my living room. As you see right here, this is mine, all mine. This is my kitchen. It's a beautiful thing, something I work hard for. It's my house, my life, my rules. You guys take your shoes off at the front door? Matter of fact. Well, no, this is it. It's not much to some people, but to me, it's mine. You know, I got a place where I know I can come home, and I got a place I can call home. And I'm not sitting outside in the rain or starving, nothing like that. So I'm happy.
Rodney earns a living as a manual laborer.
All right, bag up. If it's an $8 job, $9 job, $12 an hour job, I gotta work it if I can get it.
Special compensation funds were set up in the wake of 9/11 to support bereaved families. But since moving to Mobile, Rodney has had to fend for himself.
I've been working for everything I got. I haven't had one dime from the government for anything. Everything I got came from these hands right here. No, I'd rather do what she raised me to do anyway, and that's get out here and get it myself. I always had faith of one thing, and that was God ain't gonna put you through nothing that you can't handle. I just think about that, you know. If I'm at work and there's something tough and I say, man, can't nothing be worse than someone losing their mom, you know. So I say, man, I can get through this. I can get through anything, you know.
Many children, like Caitlin Langone and her brother, did receive compensation for the death of their parent. But the money has brought little solace.
The thing that always got me really angry too with what I call the horribly immoral economic compensation money that we got was like, my friends would bitch at me. Like when I got my car, they'd be like, oh, you're so lucky you got a new car. I'm like, this is blood money that paid for this car. You think I'd rather have a car than my dad? Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me right now?
Trade that one.
Oh yeah, like I totally would rather have our house redone than my dad. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that is the most insensitive thing I've ever heard from people. And people who are my friends would say that.
In all fairness,
yes,
people lose their parents every single day. And like, we're fortunate to have gotten as many opportunities as we did.
It gets me so frustrated with the way that people act.
But the money enabled Caitlin to leave home and attend university. She's just graduated with an English degree from a college in upstate New York.
College was really good for me, because I wasn't so far away from Mommy that I felt kind of panicked about it, because I am very close to her, but I was far enough away where I was able to kind of get a hold of my own independence and, gradually start to learn how to do things on my own. There's still stuff that confuses me, like, insurance forms and things like that, or like, I have to have Mom explain certain things, but like, I messed my car up, so like I had to do all that by myself, call the tow people, call AAA, call the insurance, and I did it, and I didn't panic, I didn't freak out, and I handled it and I was like, I am damn proud of myself. I did a grown-up thing.
To keep her company, Caitlin has adopted a rescue dog, Wesley.
Yes, good boy. Come on, tug. Good boy. Drop it, please. Drop it, please. Thank you. Sit, please. Oh, yes. Yes. Good boy. That's the best part about having a dog, something that absolutely loves you and freaks out every time you come home. They're just like, oh my God, you're back. And he's so excited every morning, too. The happy dance that I get when I wake up, priceless. Utterly priceless. That's the best part about having a dog.
Most weekends, Caitlin makes the 180-mile round trip to visit her mother.
There's a good boy. Go ahead. Hi, TJ.
Caitlin, how are you? I missed you. I love you.
Sorry. I love you too. I love you.
Come in. Hey, Westman. How are you?
Careful. Go inside, please.
Oh, it'd be nice to spend the day together with, the two of you.
Stop licking your feet.
Stop. What I would really like to do is you, Brian, and myself go away for like a little vacation like we used to do.
Obviously, I love coming home because Mommy's here and this is my home, but this was my family home. Like, this was my family's home. I can't turn around in this house without taking a picture of him and then remembering what I don't have now. As a kid, I was a happy-go-lucky kid. I hugged people all the time. Like, I loved to give hugs. Hey. Oh, good girl. I will never know what I would have been like if he was still here. I'll never know what life would have been like if he wasn't gone. You look down your entire life. My middle school graduation, my Sweet 16, my high school graduation, my college graduation, possibly getting married, possibly having kids. Like, Daddy should be there for all of it. Now he's not. Everywhere he should be, he's not.
We wouldn't let him get any closer, but his friend is the one he had the closest bond to. So that was the best link and easiest part of our negotiations.
It's just like, oh, it's like even when he speaks, it's like I can't, I don't know, like it's been still like 10 years, I still quite can't get my head around like Daddy not being around. I know it upsets you, Mommy, I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry. It's okay. At least we had him, right? Yeah. And we got him in a way nobody else had. He was like, my daddy and your husband. Oh, that's special.
Yes.
Like other people had him as a colleague, sure, but we got the better end because we got family daddy too. Yep. And rescue daddy.
Feel like it's a good day's work?
Oh, yeah. We got the guy and nobody got hurt. It's a good day's work.
All of the ESU officers said it was just another day's work.
In the instructions for this, John Frieda collection Dream Girls, it said to scrunch your hair, and I don't know how to do that. So.
The Burnett girls are now young teenagers and living in Arkansas, where their mother grew up. The family moved here the year after 9/11.
Excuse me, well, oh,
was a hard transformation going from, you know, losing a parent and then moving schools, moving states.
Excuse me while I die of shame.
But I really do think that I've enjoyed the change.
Anna Claire, I'll be the line. All right, on 3.
Wait.
1, 2, 3, go! We can't even get Toby started.
We goof off all the time. Believe it or not, but my mom actually has a sense of humor.
All right, that was not fair. Hallie couldn't even get Toby to go.
I'll talk to her about anything and everything. Yeah. She knows the line between being a friend and being a mom, and I really respect her for that. It's like I can talk to her about something going on in my life, and then another moment she can be telling me to do the laundry or something like that.
The Burnett girls were happily settled in their new surroundings, but more upheaval was in the air when their mother married again.
Here, you guys, we're doing salad bar because so many different people like different things in their salad.
When she first told us that she was engaged to him, I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be a wedding. It's gonna be awesome. But then I started thinking, wait, is he gonna try to be my dad? I started getting concerned and questioning things, and then I got upset, and then it all kind of went downhill from there. And then I would just randomly say to my mom, he is not my dad.
Under the circumstances of having lost a parent and that parent becoming almost bigger than life itself in stature, in reputation, in memory, that is extremely difficult to bring someone else in to fill those shoes, because you don't have that person around reminding you that they're not perfect. They all of a sudden become perfect.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anna.
I think after about 2 years, I finally understood he was not trying to take the place of my dad. So now I don't really mind her being married to him. I actually kind of enjoy it because he's a very nice guy, and my stepbrother Tanner, he's hilarious, and we get along really well.
Yay!
Uh-oh, some trick ones in there.
Why do you always use this?
USA! 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 Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Osama! Hey, goodbye!
That was great. We hated him. That was good. Came to school the next day, screaming, cheering. Even though he's dead and still doesn't take away the pain, if they killed him to bring everybody back, that'd be great. But that can't happen, sadly. So it's good, I guess, you know, justice served, but it doesn't take away what he did.
Burn in hell, Osama bin Laden! There is justice in the world!
The Lord taught me that revenge isn't yours. I'm gonna die. My sister's gonna die. Everybody's gonna die. Let bygones be bygones and live your life.
The children of 9/11 are beginning a new era. Bin Laden has gone, and the Ground Zero Memorial will be finished in time for the 10th anniversary ceremonies.
I can't believe that 10 years have passed. It feels just like yesterday. To be honest, I'm kind of dreading the anniversary. Not so much about the sorrow that's gonna come, but the attention. That's the worst. It's worse than anything that you can feel.
But away from the official ceremonies, this year, many children will honor their parent in their own different ways.
September 11th was a very public thing, but it was my dad that died. I need to pray for him in my house, in my comfort zone. I mean, if I did go out in public, what would people do? They just say, I'm really sorry. Yes, it'd be really genuine, but I mean, would it really help?
On September the 11th, Thea Trinidad will honour her father's memory in the wrestling ring.
My dad was a huge wrestling person. He actually was the one to get me into wrestling. And just to, do something like this for him, this would be like the perfect way to really just show him this one's for you, Dad,
Thea has followed her father's dream and become a professional wrestler.
I'm doing it for me, I'm doing it for my dad. I feel like I'm living my dream and his. He wanted to become a professional wrestler as well. And when I'm there, I think of him every single time. I can see him in the front row. I know he's there.
I talk to Michael all the time. I talk to him and I'm like, can you believe our daughter? Can you believe her?
Okay, just hang loose here. Be right back.
She's the light of 9/11, I feel. There's a lot of kids like that, and that's a good thing.
Do you want to sign a petition?
I will, yes.
Yeah. I got someone.
Do I get to sign too?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, we are good at this. Here's a pen.
This year, Justin Strada will be raising money for children's brain cancer research.
Do you want to sign? Yeah. I got another dad.
He's become a regular fundraiser for the cause.
Sign your name, printed name, street address.
You cannot say no to Justin. He has energy and he has purpose, and I think my late husband, Tom, would be very proud of Justin for his courage and the strength that he shows.
Tonight has been fantastic.
The Burnett girls will attend a special ceremony at their father's old university, where they plan to study in the future.
The greatest thing that he's given me is sort of a reassurance that anyone can do anything.
You got the ball, we want the ball, hey!
And that everything's possible for a person. Everyone can make a difference in life.
He's a hero, he's in heaven, and he's watching us. And whenever I see a picture of him, sometimes a little memory will just come in my mind, and I'll remember it and smile and think, that was a good time.
Rodney Ratchford is laying plans for his own memorial to his mother on the site of the shack where she grew up.
We're here because this is where my mother grew up at. She wasn't born here, but she was raised here. Lived here with her 7 brothers and sisters, raised by one mom. This would be a 1-bedroom shack. As you can see how very small it was, and imagine a shack just sitting here with 1 bedroom, you got a living room, and then you got the kitchen. That basically was it.
Rodney wants to build a garden in his mother's memory.
It came to me in a dream. I don't know what it was. I was here, and I just seen a garden, and I seen my mom's cemetery. That's just how I seen it in the dream. I just know that this is home to her, so this is always home to me. I believe that she will want me to be on the right path, not going down the bad path, hanging around the wrong people and getting myself into trouble. I think so far now, I'd have made her very proud. Now, you would have asked me back then, I'd have said, man, I'm messing up. She wouldn't like what I'm doing right now. But now, she will have the most biggest smile on her face. And I just know that.
This year, Caitlin Langone will mark the 10th anniversary of her father's death at the place she regards as his spiritual home, his fire station.
When the company got it, when I was younger, I used to describe the experience as bittersweet because it's very, very bitter I lost Daddy. Like, that sucks. But the part that makes it easier to deal with and easier to go to bed at night was Daddy died doing the thing he loved to do the most on earth. And not only was he doing the job he loved the most on earth, but he was helping people and saving other people that day. Like, Daddy would just start flooring it. He'd be like, all right, Tommy, where are we going? Like, how can you not be proud of that? Like, how does that not make it a tiny bit easier knowing that your person passed doing, like, some of the greatest work on earth that they ever did?
Let's get something straight.
Yeah.
No sleeping in. No sleeping in.
So there are people who are sitting at home right now who have lives and are able to continue their life because Daddy went in and brought them out. That's what makes me feel better, as I'm so blessed that Daddy was my dad. That, like, such a fantastically awesome person was my dad.